Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fun House. I am back at the house where I did the garage and the bathroom. And today I am putting up the new siding where the garage door used to be. But in the interest of appearance, we're going to keep going. Starting in this corner, I got to remove that corner. We're going to go all the way across the front of the house on the lower level. So over to here, this is where the garage wall was all rotted out. We're going to go down in there. And then we're going to go across here where the window and the door are, so it all matches. So I started ripping down the siding over here. And I'm going to get this corner out. I had to disconnect that light temporarily. Once we have a clean canvas, I will begin working. Alright, so I found the bottom level of the siding over here. And I followed it around with the level in a square. I cut my corner to fit. I nailed it on this side. Around the corner here, I had popped all the nails, and then what I did was I just took the pea shooter and I put some aluminum trim nails in through the siding, through the corner to hold it on this side, to nail it without having to tear all the siding down and get in there to fix it. And now I'm going to put the corner in over there, and then I'm going to put the starter strip in. But I'm going to show you a little trick just to kind of cover your butt when you're putting in the corner and you're not 100% sure where level's going to take you. So I could take the thickness of the starter strip, take my line that I made with my level, that is the height of the bottom of the siding there, and I could move up the width of the starter strip and then just use my level to make a level line across the front of the house. But I am going to use a different trick that I'm going to show you, just something I find a little easier. So what you do is you cut the corner a little bit long, and then you take off this tab, because you're going to have a hard time getting to it later with the tin snips when it's got siding over it perhaps. And then you snip this part, but don't remove it, just snip it. Now you can come back later and cut this anywhere easily, even with the siding in place, to make it the perfect length. Okay, now what I do is I tack one end at the right height, put the level on it, level it, get another nail in it, and you follow it straight across to where it meets the corner, and you cut your corner to length. And that's pretty much the quickest and easiest way I have found to get this done. Just to familiarize you with the product, CertainTeed makes this particular siding. I'm not just cutting blind, they give you a mark. It's perforated on the sides. So this is imitation cedar shake, but it's actually vinyl siding. And there are a lot of interesting features. You can't do this like you would a traditional siding. First off, there is a thermometer built onto every panel. It lights up for various temperature ranges. So right now you see we're in the 65. It's really 70, but it's not 100, so that's the one that's turning blue. And depending on what the temperature is, your overlap or your exposure goes to the end of one of these lines. Hope you can see that. I can't see very well, so you click the panel in, and then you tap on this little ear here to knock it over into the other one. As you do so, this little ramp hopefully picks up the next piece and pushes this one in and below it. There's some other weird features about this that you won't find in normal siding. They'll tell you to stay a 1/4 inch out of your corner, your J-channel, whatever piece of trim you're using. And then to lock it in place by putting a nail through this little hole. If you cut the panel, you can punch a hole, or you can put a nail at both ends of the slot to stop it from sliding. But then everything else should be a nail in the middle and hung like a picture frame, the way you would do traditional siding. So that's a little bit on the weird side. And it doesn't overlap the same as traditional siding, as you can see. This end is got like a 2-inch offset, as does this end. There's a little spot in here where that little ramp and everything I showed you hooks in. So it's a strange product. By no means is this an instructional video on how to use this product. Certainteed was kind enough to do a YouTube video that is very detailed, shows you every little detail, every little bell and whistle. There's also a full product line as far as trimming this out. You can use corners, but they also have cedar shakes corners for an outside corner. There is a special trim for up at the top. When you get to the top up under the soffit, they want you to cut this, pop some slotted holes in it, nail it, and there's a special piece of trim that pops on over it. I am not going to do it that way. I'm going to just use traditional J-channel and some aluminum trim nails. But I recommend to you, if you are a homeowner, if you are doing this job on your house, even if you're a contractor but you're doing it on someone else's house, follow the video to the T. Do not void your warranty. Do not deviate from how they want you to do it. I'm confident I can do this without it leaking. But if you're not a siding expert, just follow the instructions and play it safe. And if you are a siding expert, maybe follow the instructions anyway so that you are safe as far as the warranty for the product goes. I guess I'll have no choice but to cut a piece to start. Boy, this stuff don't like to slide. Remember, when you're doing this, you're doing it like you're hanging a picture. Don't sink it all the way in. You don't want to pull it too tight either and stretch it, but this stuff's pretty tough. I don't think I'm going to be able to stretch this. Okay. Whatever you cut off of that end, use it for your first piece on this end to start the process over again. All right, it is the next day. I did not finish because I did not have J-channel for up there. And honestly, I couldn't remember what I ordered because this project was months in the making. And we ordered this stuff months ago. So I didn't remember if I had gotten J-channels or not. Turns out this has a special cap that you're supposed to use up at the top. Like I said earlier, go with what they're telling you to do, but I'm gonna just do some J-channel. I got about this far before it got too dark and I couldn't really see what I was doing. Winter is upon us. And as far as this receptacle goes, I got this ring. So I'm gonna maybe have to pull this siding down or maybe just notch it out bigger. But gonna put this ring on there to space it out because this stuff's so thick. And then I'll put the cover back on. And then I'll caulk around it. Alright, this particular siding is a little tricky to work with, so I decided to end it here. I bent up some aluminum so it can't possibly leak any water. This is all one piece. It goes up here, it goes behind here, comes down, out and over everything so it can't leak. It's behind this piece of flashing. I've decided that instead of trying to side this and wasting a ton of time in siding, I'm just going to put a piece of aluminum over it. I'll put some J-channel down here by the roof, and then I will make one piece from the top down to this piece. Can't leak. Even if it does, it'll leak onto this, which means it'll run down, hit here and run out and over the siding. So it'll be foolproof. I know it'll be foolproof because I'm a fool. Okay, so I am going to run a piece of aluminum here. I put some J-channel in that'll help keep the bottom from flapping around. That way I don't have to nail it and caulk over the nails. And it's going to end right at that piece of flashing, which is over the top of that piece of aluminum. So it can't possibly leak. If it does, it'll just run out and down the aluminum and out over the bend I made anyway. I'm trying to record this for you guys, but I go to great lengths and great pains to try to entertain you. But right now I'm just trying not to die. So I can only give you so much. All right, I got that all tucked in and buttoned up. I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. So now I'm done up there. No more freezing and laying down on a roof. And no more worrying about rain leaking in. So now I got to finish laying out this J-channel across the ceiling, down that wall, down this wall, around the door, around the window. And I fully intend to take the J-channel that's around the window right now and cheat and use that as a pattern to more easily cut my J-channel. Well, I got the siding all finished. Came out pretty good if I do say so myself. I'm not sure how I feel about the white J-channel, but due to time constraints and budget crunches, we just kind of made do with what we had, and I don't think it looks bad. So, particularly proud of how the window came out. That was a real pain. I had to put seams in just the right places. There's a seam here. So that I could get the pieces around. I'm going to have to get some caulk or paint that's the same color as this siding and touch up those white nail heads. This stuff has a huge hook, a huge lock. So in order to get it to lock around that receptacle, I had to cut the hole out real big. I even trimmed off some of the lock. The hole was gaping, so I did J-channel around the receptacle. If I had known I was going to come to that, I would have gotten one of those blocks that you put with the J-channel already around it. I like the way the aluminum came out. This is all done. Obviously, it would have been nice if I could have done the soffit and everything and ran the siding behind the soffit and then put the J-channel in front of it. But sometimes you gotta make do. The window had J-channel built into it, so that came out nice. Corner looks good. We got a little left over. I'm trying to talk him into doing up there to make it match. We'll put a corner in, do across the front. And I think the house will really pop. It'll really set it off. I definitely prefer the look of the aluminum to the little scrap of siding that was up there in between the roofs. I think that looks much sharper. And now I'm going to do a little bit of aluminum work. I'm going to wrap the pole behind that gutter leader pipe. The pole that I took down from here I'm going to put back up, but that'll be wrapped in aluminum. And I'm going to take that piece of fascia, I guess you'd call it, with the arch cut in it, and replace it with just plain old 1x6 and square it off across the front. Wrap that in aluminum. And then this job is done until we maybe take on up there.